Street. Paul, if the Wild thought it would be able to coast through the next part of its schedule, it was dealt a swift, harsh rebuke Saturday night. The Detroit Red Wings outskated and outworked the Wild for much of the night as Minnesota dropped a 5-2 decision at Xcel Energy Center. With 4 of its next 5 games on home ice entering the night, and its next 4 games against teams below it in the standings, the Wild seemingly had every opportunity to make some hay over the next week. Obviously, it was one of those games where we thought we were going to come out here and throw the jerseys out because we've had a little bit of success recently and it was going to happen, said Wild coach Bruce Boudreau. And it just goes to show if you don't come self-prepared and ready to play, then you're not going to succeed in this league. Indeed, there are no gimmies in the NHL, a fact the Wild was reminded of just 24 seconds into Saturday's contest. Tweet from @Wild, everybody was really frustrated. At the same time, that was very uncharacteristic of us, more from the locker room after. They scored first shift and we were able to get one back, but then we weren't skating. They were skating. Minnesota was on its heels the rest of the game. Video, @Min, Kunin snaps a long wrister past Howard. Luke Kunin tied the game 16.5 minutes later and Nino Niederreiter gave the Wild its only lead 17 seconds into the second. Video, @Min, Niederreiter goes top shelf on power play. That advantage lasted just 28 seconds. Thomas Vanek scored his first of 2 second-period goals less than half a minute later, then gave Detroit the lead for good with just under 5 minutes to play in the middle frame. Tyler Bertuzzi, who opened scoring Saturday, finished off his first career hat-trick with 2 goals in the third period, including one just 47 seconds into it. There's nothing in this league that's a slam dunk. It's easy to look at points, but there's no bad teams in this league, said Wild goaltender Devan Dubnyk. There's nobody that you can just show up and go out on the ice and beat. It just doesn't exist. We definitely need to understand that going forward here. We know exactly how we have to play to win and we have to do that every game or we're not going to. Boudreau was especially frustrated with the team's effort and intensity level, something he felt was off from the opening puck drop, even after Kunin and Niederreiter scored goals a little more than 3 minutes apart sandwiched around the first intermission. Boudreau said the compete just wasn't there. Tweet from @Wild, if your best players aren't your best players, you're not going to win a game. It's as simple as that. When I look down and next line is the best line that we have out there, then we're in trouble. Bruce Boudreau after. That was the worst game that we've played since I've been here as coach. Effort, compete, I don't know where it was. I don't know if they're still tired from this road trip or what have you. But I'm really disappointed in tonight's effort. The good news for the Wild is it still has an opportunity to put some points in the bag during this stretch. 3 of the next 4 games are at home, with each of the next 3 games coming against teams lower than Minnesota in the standings. A stretch that begins Monday in Philadelphia against the Flyers and continues Tuesday back in St. Paul versus Los Angeles. A critical game against Anaheim follows that. The Ducks currently sit 1 point behind the Wild for the second and final wildcard spot in the West. But it certainly won't be easy. You try to make sure that's talked about. We know that. Every team's in this league is good. It's a tight league, and there's players on every team, said Wild forward Eric Staal. We obviously expect better here at our rink, and a team coming in on a back-to-back. All those things, it just wasn't good enough. Related. Post-game hat-trick, Red Wings 5, Wild